Thanks for the heads up there, Ben. No, yeah, it was me. I was playing around with my audio, but that should be better now. Yeah, so the idea, I'll kind of quickly repeat back. The idea behind this is by using the form builder, we can put in a lot of those defaults into place, and then we use everywhere. We also can override things and kind of build whatever flexibility we want here. This is really actually what something like simple form is based on. So right now, I just want to kind of get started by showing how it can work with the labels in here. So with that, our labels are now simpler because they're just putting that in. And we can now, we want to do the same thing kind of with our email and password field as well. So looking at the docs, if we go back in here and look at email field, and we're going to just want to grab the definition. So a lot of these are a little bit simpler too. So this again, we can make sure that we're doing things right. So we're going to be wanting to we're going to have a very similar structure for this as well. So for the email, we're going to be doing the method. We're going to merge in default classes, and we don't have a block for this one. And if we look back over to our form and go to the email field, we can see in here the fields. So we're going to spit that into there. And so now if we go into our form and we go to the email field, we can remove all of that, and that is going to just make our forms way nicer to work with. All right, and we are going to want to do the same thing for the password field as well. And I'm pretty sure these all basically have all these kind of text fields have the same definition essentially. So in here, method options. So we can come in here and we can make the password field. So if we just blank that out, if we go down here to the password field and remove all those classes, we'll now go back to the normal default form field setup. And if we put in all the classes here, which I believe should be the same as the text field, we now have a properly formatted field there. So really what we're looking to do here is for the so all those are basically doing the exact same setup. And we're going to see the same thing when we do a text field, etc. Now that works well. So now we have the label those. So, and actually this is automatically handled at CRMmy, so we are going to just remove that. But we do want to still have that forgot password off to the side, so we will just change that to be justify end. Yep, there we go. Okay, so this is basically all set up and this is working. This works the way we want it to, so that's great. But we don't want to necessarily have to throw the form builder on every single time that we're setting something up, or setting up every single form. So what we can actually do is in application helper, we can put into here action view. Actually, we'll blank this out for a sec. So if we go back into the form and we remove that form builder, this is going to go back to being default. Perfect. And if we go action view base dot default form builder, that is going to be the my form builder. And good, we're back to properly formatted ones. All right, so what I actually want to be heading towards is, for this structure, it's going to be repeated basically everywhere. There's other things that are even missing for them this though. So there also would normally want to have a hint and even an error where appropriate. So what I actually want to do is do something like this: form.input email, and form.input password, and that give me the standard structure that's kind of used everywhere. Actually, you might, yeah, that's what I want to be doing here. So this is not going to work. We reload that. Yep, it's yelling at me. So let's make a form builder. Let's give it. So in here we can do something like def input, and we're actually going to want to kind of take. So in here we're going to want to take in the method options. So on here, so if we look at the structure we're going for, so we're going for label, margin. We're actually going to probably want that on all of them. Then we're also going to want to have the hint optionally and an error. I'm always torn whether the error or the hint should go in the order on this. All right. So let me just check some of my notes on this. All right. All right. So all right. So in here we do have access to the object, which will be the actual model object that we're connecting with. So with that, I think we can dynamically look up the type that it is that we want to be the field type that we want to be calling. Okay, well, here. So if we send the method, on here I don't have that. Okay, so I need to, so normally I'd have an object here, which let me do that so I could cheat. So I want to kind of dispatch to different things just automatically. So I could do something like field equals, and then I could just do so when the method is email, then it's going to be then I'm going to do this is where I'd want to do email field method all right. So that's doing spitting out the fields. So that's giving my field. So the label is going to be self.label, and I need to use, if I'm going to do it this way, which I probably will change a little bit, so I'm just kind of spitballing here. So here we're going to do so we want to get the method, we want to get to a string, and we want to capitalize. So we'll put field, label plus field. All right, so let's see what this is like. Label, input, and that looks good. Okay, so we're going to want to so this is not yet giving us the wrapping that we're looking for. So let's do a content tag div, and in here we're going to do a class of, well, we don't need to do a class. And where I'll actually just remove that whole structure. Oh, I'm missing the helpers. And I'm forgetting how to import them so that I can use form helpers in there. Oh. So I am just Googling how to get the, oh, is it? So this is the joy of live coding. And I'm just Googling and searching is it helpers? I think I've accessed. So this is for the actual helpers. That template, I knew it was somewhere. And yeah, all right, so that's right. Okay, so in here we are going to want to maybe do a space Y1, just put a margin between each. Good. And so in here we could also do our int equals nil, error equals nil. All right, so label input. All right, that looks good. Okay. So we have email, we have the text field that's properly formatted, and they're good to go. So next I'm going to do is the submit. So these here we'll have to fill in at another point. So in here, def submit and submit. All right, for our submit button, that's a whole lot of classes. All right, so we're passing the value and options.merge. And let's just check that this. Sign in, no styling. All right, there we go. And let's confirm everything still works. Admin@example.com. Password is password. And we're in. And if we go to, say, companies and add a company, that looks terrible, but at least it works. So in here, we can see the name. It's using a text field. So what's nice with this setup so far is that if we go, we can duplicate this, and we've got our text field. Yeah. All right. So that is the gist of using the custom form builder. So it's going to have these styles. There's a bunch more customizations we can do. So we want to introduce the errors and hints. For hints, I'm going to be having that automatically pull from the internationalization. So if you have a hint, you'll just automatically spit it in there. Otherwise, it won't. but that's kind of, yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it off. And that is, yeah, so this is your basic setup. You can basically have override some of the defaults methods, all your email field or whatnot. But you also can make completely customized ones, and this lets me, in this case, I'm able to wrap it in something and kind of handle things the way I want to. And this is all working off of defaults. This is where you could make your, you could do something here where you have, you could have options, you know, you could do something like label options. Something like that. So you pass down those things. But yeah, in this case, actually, we probably don't even want to do any of these options because we're kind of, the assumption is you're kind of working off your defaults. But that's, yeah, that's kind of a good place to stop, I think. And with that in place, we'll be able to move on to some of the other layout setups for some of the other pages. Yeah, so I think that's where I'm going to end it for now. And yeah, so the next stuff we'll be doing is layout on other pages, and then I'm actually going to be starting to look at kind of the IMAP and SMTP stuff for pulling in messages from the system, or that are sent, emailed in. So that's going to actually be kind of like the first really real CRM functionality. But